I'm coming to you 1 hour after our call time because someone didn't. It was okay. I'm sorry. Anyways, hello, welcome to Sumuji Radio Show. I'm giggly right now because of what just happened
I'm
prior to the recording.
Maid. I don't know how to function Discord, and I postponed this podcast a whole hour because I accidentally had our lovely Maid Marcy not working.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm your host, Maid Marcy, and I have Maid Q-ki, and I also have another guest. Hello, other guest.
Hi, I'm the other guest. I'm Maid Ambi. I am the Blueberry Maid. This is my first podcast with you guys. Yay!
I'm so sorry. I still feel bad. It's like 8:30 at night. We were supposed to start this at 7:30, and it was all my fault.
It's okay.
Marcy,
It's okay.
I
learned a lot.
applaud you for your valiant efforts in trying to fix the issues.
Thank you. So today's episode is actually I mentioned earlier in the month of May that it's going to be a bunch of like maid related topics, and this one's going to be about maid uniforms, and I have two of the field experts on maid uniforms, Maid Q-ki and Maid Ambi.
Such flattery.
They know their stuff about it. So I've been watching a lot of Storage Wars and Pawn Stars, and they're like, I know a guy who's an expert on this. And if I had like a maid uniform, I'm like, oh yeah, I know experts. And I would like bring it to you guys and be like, what is this worth?
What is this
quality?
worth? Honestly, with my buying and selling and trading lately, I feel pretty confident.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I think you're I would come to you for appraisal of like garments and textiles.
I like selling fashion, and I like selling weeb things like anime figures.
Oh, that's true.
What I do in my spare time.
That's true.
I think I just like nice looking things, so I'll do my best to make things look the nicest they can.
Oh, yeah.
I have actually less experience than shit. I'm not a very trade smart person. I just know what I know, but do what I do.
You have a really good appreciation, and you work hard on getting the techniques down to be able to do it yourself. So I think we should go into our first question. Can I just like jump right into it?
Yeah, I'll start it. Okay, so how about Maid Q-ki can answer, and then Maid Ambi can also answer, and then we can discuss it a little. So my first question is, what is your sewing background, and how long have you been doing it?
Okay, so my sewing background, I started off by making plushies.
Aww.
Little cute anime plushies. I know. I was like literally, I don't know, 10. I was young. I was a baby, and I used hot glue and broadcloth, and it went real great.
Cute.
Also, we have dogs.
3 dogs. We're together in the same place, and we have all 3 of our dogs here.
Yeah, I can hear them jingle. Cute.
Jingling dog in the background. Just a quick snippet. We live together. Maid Ambi.
Strawberries and blueberries live together.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, strawberry and blueberry made me tamagoyaki for dinner, and I'm forever thankful.
Oh.
I'll post pictures later. Yeah. Anyways, so my sewing background, I started off by making really bad plushies. They were so bad. They were weird things like flying cats that were hot glued together with broadcloth. And then eventually, somehow, I ended up getting a scholarship to a fashion school because I kept working hard and making cosplays and making clothes, and I loved it.
So much about you.
I know, I got a scholarship, and then I remember everyone was like, "No, she did not," and then I was like, "Yeah, I did," and I went to school for a little bit, and then I don't know, like college is difficult for some people. I think I'm one of those people that doesn't do well with college, so I ended up not doing it because I was like, I can learn more from the internet and just from practice, so I kind of dropped out. Oops. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, scholarship. But anyways, yeah, I just kind of kept slowly doing cosplay, and so my last cosplay ever was more than a decade from when I first started sewing cosplay, which was probably about almost 5 years after I started trying to sew, which was my crappy little...
So like 10 to 15 years.
10 to 15 years of sewing, yeah. It was crazy.
Whoa.
And now I am an adult. Definitely an adult in her 20s. And I work in textiles, and I'm still sewing and still doing all my things. So that's my sewing background. It's extensive. It is very extensive.
Yeah, very very technical.
I would say technical, not proper per se, because I can sew for myself and I can sew for specific people if they're there for me. But I really struggle with like commission work. Like when someone comes at me with measurements, I'm like, okay, I have your measurements. and I understand these are your measurements, and I do the pattern and I do the thing, but like I think kind of the problem that I run into is that I don't know, I just need the person to be there physically so I can make sure everything fits properly. Because if you tell me you have a certain size bust, I can cut the certain size bust, but maybe like, I don't know.
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah, well, like maybe
you
the
want it to
princess
fit
seams are too far to the left, or sorry, too far out or too far in. Like I want them to be perfectly in the middle of your true princess bust. So like, maybe it is that I'm a perfectionist.
I think it's just perfectionism.
I struggle to sew for other people though. I want them to be there because I want it to look good on them, and if I make something for someone, I want it to good on them.
Yeah, and
So
that's
they need to be
why that's why when we ever have sewing parties for the uniforms, you're like, yes, come here, try this on.
I know everyone's always like, how can I help? I don't know how to sew, and I'm like, just be there,
Just stand there.
be there, feed me, and stand there.
I was like, I'm gonna drape fabric on you. Just stand there.
I know, exactly. All right, Ambi, how about your sewing experience? Because you sew a lot of different things than I do, and I think that you actually sew more detailed things than I do.
Yeah. So I do a lot of small things. So the way I started sewing, is that I joined a maid cafe,
Oh.
and my very
Ironic.
I know, right? How on brand. So when I joined the maid cafe, I found out that I had to make my own uniform or asked for it to be made, but then I was like, no, I want to start cosplaying too. So this is a perfect chance for me to learn how to sew. So I did end up going to the store, and I bought my own sewing machine, or my mom bought it for me. Like I had to I had my first sewing machine. I was like 18 years old, and my mom bought my sewing machine for me, saying that if I don't use it like every day, I have to pay her back for it.
Oh my gosh.
Because she bought, like, it wasn't super expensive. I think it was like a very like small brother machine, $200. But my mom's,
oh my god.
she's like, if I'm buying this for you, I better see you on it every single day, or else you have to pay me back. And I was in culinary school at the time, so I didn't have a job, and I was like, okay.
You're like, no, mom.
So my mom actually helped me like make ruffles, and because she knew how to hand sew, but she didn't really know how to use a sewing machine. But she did help me make ruffles and like make my first maid uniform for the cafe I joined.
Aww.
And that's how I started actually like seriously sewing. And then from then on, I did cosplay a little bit for a time, but not really complicated things. So like I didn't really make a lot of big cosplays. A lot of it was like schoolgirls and like seifuku, like skirts and shirts and stuff. I didn't really make big scale stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got older, I started up again doing more like detailed things. So like right before I joined Sumu, I was learning how to make lingerie. So really tiny and intricate. Yeah. So I did start learning how to make bras and underwear and like things like that. And that was really fun. I kind of haven't done anything.
That was when I got like crap jealousy of you. It was like, I can't do this. I can't make lingerie. Dude, Ambi makes some good, cute, lacy lingerie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, like, yeah, I think that's what when I joined, I had sent you guys some examples of like some of the stuff I did make.
That's right. That was in your application, actually.
Yeah.
Lingerie. And I was like, look at this lacy.
I only know how to make maid dresses and lingerie.
You introduced us to peacock trim. None of us here at Sumu knew what peacock trim was. And you were like, let me tell you about peacock trim.
Yeah.
But
So
using
like, I made
underwear.
a bunch of, like, lingerie pieces and like.
Oh, she's showing me pictures right now.
Yeah,
it's really good. Yeah, I remember this one. This one's really good. And like you picked really aesthetic, like lacy, elastic, and everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at that peacock trim. That looks. Oh, and heart triglides.
Yeah.
Heart-shaped triglides on her bras.
If you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah. I was very impressed with your lingerie though, because it's so small. Like the smaller you go when it comes to sewing, the harder it is.
Yeah, you have to be very careful, and like a lot of stuff ends up getting done by hand too. And anyway, I did a lot of stuff like that. Even like over the last year, I started doing face masks, and I was selling them as a small business. For like a few months, I did make a bunch of face masks for people. So more small, little, tiny things. And Yeah.
I mean, you weren't doing it just for people. You were like hired by a pattern maker to like
Oh yeah,
make
yeah.
masks. Like you were hired.
I don't know how to
do
talk
that.
about myself. Yes, a pattern maker in my area did actually contact me and had me make masks that were ordered through her business. So I
Aw.
did do. I guess it's freelance a little bit. Like I would get and then I would just get to keep what she charged for those
So,
masks.
I actually want to expand on that a little bit. That's actually a business model. So I've also worked at places like tailor shops and stuff. So a lot of my coworkers have told me about their work experience with sewing. And at the tailor shop, they're telling me, like, yeah, there are totally businesses that just like they contact you and they're like, here are the pattern kits. Sew it in your own home at your own time.
Yeah, I've heard of
And
them.
we will pay you like per item that you put back out to us. So like, for example, one of my tailor shop coworkers, like she would get contacted by these people in like Las Vegas that were like, hey, we need some outfits for the club. So she would get all like hundreds of outfits and just sew them together. They were already cut, they were already kitted out,
That's cool.
and she would just sew them together
That's super
and
cool.
return them. And that was her job. Like that was her part-time job. So like you working for a pattern maker kind of reminds me of that. So like there's a lot of interesting sewing jobs where like you'd be surprised how much you can do sewing at home. You'd be surprised how many companies contract you to sew at home.
Yeah, it was a fun time. And then like so as far as like yeah, so for how long, I would say yeah, like 10 years at least for how long I've been sewing and like just making small things for myself. Mostly made uniforms, schoolgirl uniforms, and underwear.
Wow, you weeb.
That's me.
Oh, I realized this year is my 10-year anniversary of sewing, actually, too.
All right. Oh my god,
Yeah.
how's our 10 years?
Yeah.
10-year anniversary to sewing.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
remember the
cute.
first thing I sewed, it was by hand, actually. It was like a Hatsune Zatsune, like, you know, the goth Miku, like the red and black one. And I hand sewed it and like used hot glue, and it was awful, but I loved it at the same time. But then the first thing I actually made was Haku from Spirited Away, and I was so proud of that. I'm kind of still proud of it, and I'm glad that we all stuck to it in the end. Okay, and now that we talked about our brief sewing history, my next question for you guys is, what types of fabrics do you recommend for maid uniforms, as you two are the resident maid uniform experts here?
Ooh, wee boy. So, I was gonna say it, natural fibers are your
Really?
friend. Yeah, so, and it can be a blend too, but I don't know. So certain fabrics, you really just want to look into apparel fabrics. Like I've seen a lot of people sew with non-apparel fabrics, and then they wonder
Quilting
why are
fabrics.
they so uncomfortable? And I'm like, ah, gee, I wonder why.
Or they're very hard to keep pressed. They're very wrinkly, thin, or see-through most times.
Yeah,
What about I got a question. What about quilting cottons? Like, I know a lot of people use those.
I think quilting cottons have their place, their time and their place, particularly with small detail.
Accents, yeah.
Yeah, but when you try to make a whole outfit out of that cheapo $1.20 set per yard quilting cotton, there's a reason it makes you sweat. There's a reason it gets
It's meant to be
really
a blanket,
wrinkly.
yeah.
It's meant to be a blanket. So they apply. So working in the textile industry, it's very interesting because every fabric that you experience in the sewing store, or fabric that goes into a sewing store, has a process and a finish that is applied to it. So apparel fabrics are a little more expensive because you're going to have finishes applied to that fabric, like a permapress, so that you don't have to worry about ironing it, or some type of resin coating that's just going to benefit it as being an apparel fabric. Whereas when you get
It's
to your
meant to be worn and beat
yeah,
up
yeah,
and
it's meant to be put up
washed
against
and
your.
remember.
I'm gonna say it's meant to be put up against your armpits and uncomfortable areas that you put clothing. Whereas quilting fabrics, they're just not. They're not made for that.
Sweaty.
So you're gonna get sweaty. You're gonna feel uncomfortable. You know?
I made
Yeah.
my early cosplay days, I tried to do things with quilting fabric and
Same.
or like bed sheets.
Yeah.
And
I remember I got some drama started online because of we use quilting fabric. Like some big cosplayer was like, "You can't just come into the con community and sew some like smutty stuff out of quilting fabric and think you're so cool." And I'm like, "Okay,
Whoa.
I'm sorry, I'm 12.
I didn't know better. I thought I could make some shorts out of some broadcloth. I apologize.
Yeah, it's I think we've all had our stint with it, but I think after a while you sew for a while, you realize that quality does matter. Like in any other trade or hobby, quality does matter.
Oh, you know what else matters?
Yeah.
How you wash your fabric.
That
There are certain
too.
fabrics that they say do not machine wash. There is a reason it says do not machine wash. Most fabrics that say do not machine wash, you just have to do them on the lightest possible cycle with the like coldest possible water. And when they say do not tumble dry, do not dry clean, they mean it. They really mean it.
Hang it up.
So when they say do not dry clean, you think a lot of people hear dry clean and they think, oh, like they clean it dryly, like it doesn't actually get wet. Dry cleaning actually does, your clothes get wet. They do get saturated. Dry cleaning is an interesting term because you just get saturated in very specific chemicals. So when a fabric says do not dry clean, it says that.
Dry clean only.
Or dry clean only. It's because it either needs to be or cannot be cleaned by specific chemicals. So that was, I kind of went on a tangent there, but only because I'm very
well, yeah. When we go, yeah. Well, I think with Q-ki, she just knows so much about fabrics from what she works with. As far as I'm a humble home sewer, I'd say. I don't work professionally with fabrics, but even still, to a novice, it does matter how you clean your fabrics, how you use them, what fabrics are used for what purpose. It's very, very important. And you find that out as you sew more and more.
And also, I mean, this is applicable to our own group.
Yeah.
So we were like washing our uniforms for a while, right? And then after like our 2-year mark, everyone at the same time suddenly started having uniform problems with washing. Everyone's uniform suddenly turned pink. And you know what? It was because we did not read the fabric label.
Yeah.
Literally, it was because we didn't read the fabric label. And it said, literally, do not wash this. Do not dry this. You cannot dry this fabric. And
so we use
lo and
sateen.
behold, yeah. So
yeah, stretch sateen.
That's a very commonly asked question.
Yeah.
What fabric is your uniform? We use cotton sateen. We like cotton sateen because sateen's very soft and it feels good on your skin. And cotton's just, it's breathable. It's good for wearing things because, like I said, it breathes and you want your skin to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember we bought our fabrics. It's in like the sportswear section. And
Yeah,
I was like,
it's in the
wow, it moves.
It does.
When I wear
It
it.
also says, do not put in the dryer. And what did I tell everyone to do? Smack your uniform in the dryer.
And guess what I
Oh my
did?
god.
Smack your uniform in the
I
dryer?
threw that in the shower or in the dryer. Yeah.
Aye.
Oh my god.
I do have a experiment I want to try. I want to try making a maid uniform with a more athletic material that's more sweat wicking.
Ooh, like polyester cotton mix?
Yeah. I do want to try and see if I can get a like nice looking uniform or some sort of cosplay out of something a little bit more. Only because, and the reason why I say that is because we are performing maids. We don't just stand there and sit at the table. We actually do dance and we sing and we, we're up and around, running around.
I think that's a really good point to bring up.
Even though we do
Ooh,
have a
yeah,
nice
actually.
fabric, I do kind of want to experiment with making a uniform that's a little bit more on the athletic material side, but still heavyweight enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, polyester is a depending on the blend, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe depending on the blend, polyester is a sweat wicking fabric. So that is definitely something that you would want in your uniform. But you might have also noticed like certain 100% polyester fabrics, they make your skin itch, make you sweat. So those wouldn't be less ideal.
Yeah.
For that. But if you look at your athletic wear, it probably says oh, this is a percentage of spandex and a percentage of polyester. And that is a sweat wicking, very comfortable fabric to wear. So I like the fact that you mentioned that we're a performing group because if you're not going to be dancing, you're just going to be standing there, I don't want to say just standing there, but if you're just going to be kind of serving and not doing much else.
If you're not a performer,
you don't need a lot of movement in your uniform. You don't need a lot of sweat wicking. You can probably get away with those more
we do
cosplay common materials.
Yeah. So our for example, our cafes are 3 to 4 hours.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe 5 hours total.
From start to finish.
From start to the moment
I would say for the audience, it's maybe like 3 hours, but for us it's like 5 to 6 hours because we have to like get ready, walk to the room, do the show, and then we have to pack up and then bring it back to like our hotel or our cars. It's a
We have a
process.
30-minute like reset period where
Right.
we're running
Yeah.
around from the last group and preparing for the next group, and like especially outdoor events. Those are the
Yeah.
most brutal
Oh my
ones.
gosh. Yeah.
The Japan maid cafes. Oh my gosh. Like the Akihabara events that happened in like June and August. You see pictures of those maids and they are just sweating.
Glistening.
And you know what? I look at them.
They're
they look
beautiful.
like fabrics, and I'm like,
Shiny.
I wonder how breathable uniforms
Yeah,
are.
so I think
really
I
makes me
did have
wonder.
I did have the thought like maybe a year ago was when I was thinking of trying it out with something a little bit more athletic or something a little bit more breathable, just because even though our uniforms are cotton and they are, lightweight, I'm still peeling it off. I'm one of the
Yeah.
dancers too, so
Oh
I'm still
yeah, same.
at the end of the day, and it's just like
Reality check: maids do not smell good.
at the end of the day. So I'm one of the dancers too, so it's just like I'm still like.
And part of it's that, like, we get really into our dancing. Like, I think there's two types of dancers, kind of, where, like, one is like, I'm doing the motions. And there's us, like, actually punching the air. Like, when we're punching the air, we were putting some effort into those punches. We were punching the dang
Yeah,
air.
so that's my whole thing on the types of fabrics that maybe I would recommend is for sure cotton.
And if you can dip into the sportswear.
Maybe if someone hasn't done it already, I would really like to see how that goes. Doing something a little more athletic.
Full spandex.
Well, the full spandex.
Full spandex. Like performance fabric. Like,
Yes.
like the hollow performance fabric. Oh my
Like
God.
dancer fabric, those
We'll
really
rip up
thin ones.
Lululemon.
Yeah.
You'll see it. Coming.
It's coming soon to a cafe near you.
Athletic Maids 2022.
We all wear
What do you,
biker shorts.
were you able to see, like, when you went to Maid Dreaming, like, could you see, like, what their uniforms were made of? Is it, like, twill? Is it, like, cotton?
When you buy, like, yeah. So I was noticing this. I was like, these look like the same fabrics that you see when you buy a cosplay off, like, Amazon.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I'm sure they get big.
Same fabric.
Yeah, I'm sure they send them off. They get made.
I'm sure they do
mass
get
produced.
made. But it's that super flat synthetic material. I'm sure if you
Oh, no. I know
here's the thing.
exactly what you're talking
You
about.
test fabric by taking a flame to it, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if you take a flame to a fabric and it just melts, like, it doesn't burn, it melts.
And
That's a
smells
synthetic fabric. That's what their fabric looks like. And I'm like, is that breathable? Like, are you okay?
No, probably
And then I
not.
see them at these
No.
summer fests, they're just sweating and they've got like cloths on their foreheads and they're just dying. And I'm like, I want to save you. Like, I just have to
Honestly,
wonder.
yeah. You
Japan,
have to wait
though, is
there.
In the
Japan's
summer.
humid.
hot.
You're
So-
already swimming in that summer.
And I mean, they're running around like
Yeah.
crazy, working in the heat in a
Yeah,
full
because they're also
uniform.
waitresses. Like they're also
Yeah.
on the job. They're clocked in. They are there to
I
make
know.
their
I was
money.
like, I was a waitress in January. It's cold outside, but I am sweating.
I've been a waitress during the summer here in Arizona, and I can't imagine. And this is as they say, a dry heat.
Uh
And I'm here
Oh,
in like a
like,
jersey.
Not
t-shirt.
me.
Not a dry heat. Anyways,
Anyway, next
I think we
question.
covered it. Yeah.
I want to add one more thing. On the Sumuji Instagram, since I revealed that I am the admin for that, I actually follow a few like maid designers for like maid cafe groups in Japan, and maybe I should like ask them. One of them actually speaks English. Maybe I should ask her like, "Hey, what do you make your uniforms out of and stuff like
I
that?"
would love to know.
Dude, even if they
Yeah.
don't say what fabric it is, I want to know the fabric content.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I should ask her and see like
You have different weaves, which are going to
yeah.
determine the fabric itself, but like the fabric content, when it comes to skin contact, that's important.
Yeah. I'll see if I'll muster up the courage to send her a DM and be like, "What
Do
is
it, do
this?"
Do it. We want to
Okay,
know.
so my next question. My next question is, at what skill level do you recommend for people if they want to make their own maid uniforms?
Any
Oh Lord, that was a call out.
any experience. That was my very first big sewing project was a maid uniform, and it wasn't nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very unfinished seams and bad hems, once folded over hems, and honestly,
Oh,
You and I did that. We did this back in the day.
Yeah.
Like before YouTube was super a thing.
That's
So I
true.
would
That's
look
true.
up very common beginner mistakes when it comes to making clothes. So I hope this is appropriate, but like for example, I would say darts, especially for the female body when you have things on your chest. Darts are so important, and as a beginner, it is so easy to mess up darts, and it just
It's so
you
easy.
want to look up beginner mistakes to not make when you're doing these uniforms. And there's also easy
like
ways.
darts.
So for example, opt for princess seams instead of
Yes.
darts, because that's going to help you so much in getting that final form that you
Yeah,
want.
the look would be less cold.
Yes. Less cold. This is part of making clothes. I would honestly look up beginner tips and
Yeah,
tricks
and it's
for
a lot.
making
It
clothes.
is like Q-ki said, it's a lot easier now. 10, 15 years ago, YouTube was still new, and there, if you wanted to find good tutorials, you'd have to actually go get a book, or you still would have to really, really search the internet. But even then, back then, there wasn't any tutorials on the internet about maid uniforms or cosplay in general. There wasn't too many yet. So
Yeah, and you had like cosplay.com.
right.
But even then, like,
Aw.
you know that you're getting tips from, I love cosplay.com, but you know you're getting tips from amateurs that don't necessarily know what you're talking about. But these days,
Nowadays,
there are industry professionals
yeah.
making incredibly detailed tutorials
You could even
on how to do
buy
this.
patterns to make these things, like
Yes.
actual
Maid
cosplay.
uniform
Like cosplay
Or
patterns.
Yeah,
patterns.
cosplay patterns. Yeah, you
Singer
can.
has like actually
Yeah.
throw that out there. We buy a base pattern for our bodice from a production. I don't remember what company. How do I not remember some company?
I think it was like McCall's or
Why
something
is
like that.
No,
the
it's Simplicity.
pattern. It's the
Oh, Simplicity.
no, it's Simplicity
Oh, man.
because I used it for the other pattern.
Yeah,
the
so
other-
alter existing patterns. Look for the shape that you want. Find a pattern that has that shape and alter it.
Mhm.
And oh man, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
It's
completely
easy
forgot
now.
about that.
Yeah, any skill level. Literally, you can just pick up a sewing machine today and start sewing. It's so way easier. It's way easier now.
It is way
especially if you're
easier.
trying to do cosplay and maid outfits.
But that said, do not rely on patterns per se
yeah,
to match you perfectly,
fiddle
because
with it,
patterns
yeah.
are made by designers that like think that bodies should be a certain way. But
yeah.
in reality, every person who's a size, 6, every size 6 is gonna look differently.
There's such a
So-
thing as vanity sizing now. So
Yes.
you have to make sure that you are fitting yourself and knowing what fits you best.
I know people hate it and it takes more time, but like honestly, like
I know.
make the clothes that you're making, make them out of a sheet first, fit them properly, and then mess with your really
Oh, I know.
expensive fabric. People, I don't know
Oh,
why
I
in the
know.
cosplay community they hate making things twice.
I.e. me.
Me.
I hate it
honestly.
so much.
But since I've been in school and I've been forced to do all these things on paper, then in muslin, then go to the real deal, it's so worth it. There's a reason the industry does it this way. You don't just immediately roll with your most expensive fabric and be like, oh, heck, I gotta go buy another yard of this $40 fabric.
We've even run into that problem in our cafe making our uniforms where we just, all
I
right.
know. Someone's like, oh no, I cut my skirt too short. And I'm like, that sucks. Gotta go buy 4 more yards.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. Just do a practice go, especially if you're a size in between the generic sizes listed on the pattern. Make sure you measure yourself properly, learn how to do
That was
all
my
that.
thing. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, if anybody remembers my old cosplay account, I posted a picture of me wearing a I think it was a Yayahan pattern.
It was
It was
of a
I
uniform
bought
or
an
of a thing.
Evangelion, like a skin tight bodysuit pattern from Yayahan.
I
The
remember
size,
this.
yes, the size that the pattern itself says was appropriate for me. It was about
a
like, I don't
pillowcase
know,
on
8
you.
inches too short, like 8 inches too short and about 12 inches wide. And
It was so bad.
that purely becomes out of the fact that human bodies, they're
just-
too
it's
specific.
just gonna
Like,
be
this is
different.
why, like, a certain size, you only buy a certain brand in a certain size.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And you buy a different size in a different brand. And that's because every brand goes with, like, a different type of body shape, I think.
Yeah, it's
So-
true.
And that's what I'm saying. You shop at certain brands and you like certain brands because it fits you a certain way and works for you. It doesn't mean the other brands are bad. It just means that it works for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, rant over.
Rant over.
She's a lot shorter than me. I'm very
She's
tall.
like, I bet her patterns would fit me really.
So I have a friend. She's literally like 8 inches shorter than me. We have the same height legs. Like I'm just long. I don't know what it is. My body.
No, it's all
my
good.
torso, long.
But yeah, any skill is easy now. You can do it at any point nowadays. It's way easier.
Yeah,
And
there's definitely help out there for you if you have questions
For
too.
sure. Also, just be real with yourself. Like if you look in the mirror and you don't like it, just do it again. Do it again.
It's just fabric. Just do it again. Okay, so can you tell us more about the design of the Sumuji uniform? Like, what are the origins? Like, why maroon? Why the stripes? Q-ki, tell us.
So
the origins.
The origins.
Is that what you want to know?
Yeah, the origins of the Sumuji uniform, which is iconic.
I did not just do it by myself. I drew up so many little doodles and I was like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And I asked like probably like half a dozen people. Like it was not just me by myself. I was like, do you like options A or B? 1 or 2? Like I need to know. So I just told so many people for about 3 or 4 months, I think. And then at the end of it, like I'd finally kind of like nailed down a design. And I was like, okay, what color do we want? So I was thinking of like what colors match most people's skin tone. Like what's a color that you can take and smack on most people
other than
and they're
black.
gonna rock it.
Yeah,
other
so
than
many
black. Yeah, most people look good in black. Most people look good in gray. Most people look in white. But I don't want one of those color made uniforms. That wouldn't be so great. We did contemplate like gray or brown uniforms, but I was like, no, I want something like a bit more bright and standout-ish. And that's when I decided. So the original Sumuji color was actually emerald green.
Wow.
Oh, that would have been pretty though.
Are you kidding me? Where was I?
At first, like initially, I was like, okay, I know navy looks good on most people. Like most people look good on navy, and they look really good. But there's a lot of navy uniforms out there. Like that's Maid Dreamin'. Yeah, exactly. So Maid Dreamin', and there's that one really popular dress that you can buy online as well with like little heart pockets and like ruffles everywhere. And I was like, okay, it can't be navy. It has to be a different color. So, and that's when I kind of decided. I was like, jewel tones. They look good on people. Like jewel tones. I'm obsessed with them. My Christmas tree, jewel tones. Everyone loves it. It's sparkly.
Throw pillows, jewel tones. Like curtains, jewel tones.
My couch, jewel tones.
Your whole house is jewel tones.
Heck yeah, it is. And that's just because I think most people's skin tones, I think you smack a jewel tone on it, it looks amazing.
It looks great.
It looks good. So that was also my concern with brown, is that my roommate at the time, I was consulting her a lot and she was just like, no, dude, like you put me in brown, it doesn't
look
work.
Naked sometimes.
You might look naked. That's why I don't wear nudes. I look kind of naked. I don't like it. So that's why I was like, it has to be a color. Can't be a neutral. Jewel tones win. And also, speaking of this, now that I have Maid Ambi here with me, she discovered this website where you upload a picture of yourself and it tells you what colors you look good in.
Really? You gotta send that to me.
Oh, I will. It's like it's a whole thing about your personal color, and it kind of helps you know. Like, have you ever heard the terms like, "Oh, I'm a summer," or "I'm a winter"?
Yeah, I never understood those.
It's way more in depth and complex, and I'm being a big nerd about it, but it helps a lot. Like knowing your color palette.
No, dude, I'm gonna throw this out there. Like my best friend Chainsaw. You smack Chainsaw in a bright red or blue wig or something, or an outfit, she looks stunning. Like, holy wow, she looks amazing. You put me in a bright red or blue, I just look kind of uncomfortable and like not the greatest, a little bit washed out. And like, it's because I look better in like more ashy, muted colors. Yeah.
Grayer colors.
So we've done so many duo cosplays at this point in time that like her and I, after you told us about this color palette, like we sat down, we analyzed all our like dozens of costumes together. And it also answered the question of Sumuji. I was like, why does everyone look good in jewel tones? And that website is like the reason why. I was like, everyone looks good in jewel tones.
I'll have to link you.
So emerald was the first color, but we went with red because smoothies. My favorite smoothie is like this kind of like magento, pinky, dark reddish colors. So I was like, okay, smoothies, we're going with a smoothie color. Red. By the way, it's the kiwi puncher. It has kiwis and strawberries, and it's delicious.
I actually really like that you guys went with maroon. I joined after you started, so it was already like a year and a half in. You guys have been a unit, and then I joined. And I remember when I was fabric shopping, I actually met Marcy for the first time at Joanne
I
Fabric.
remember that.
I think we knew each other. We just didn't really know. We weren't like close or friends
We
yet.
knew of
but-
each other, but
Yeah,
we didn't know each other.
And I remember
The
like one of the
best.
first things that I said to you was like, I'm so like impressed that the uniform looks as nice as it does, and it's very cohesive and clean. Especially with the colors, like I was really liking how the maroon went with everyone's personal fruit color.
Okay, I want to touch on this for a second. Okay, so one of the biggest concerns with going with the maroon, I was like, okay, what's going to happen? Because not most fruits, but many fruits are green and have green accents. So is it going to look like a Christmas tree? And surprisingly, like for example, our Maid Q-ki somehow doesn't look like a dang Christmas tree. I don't get it.
All the colors look good. Like so I'm a blueberry,
I
and
called you Maid America for a little. You're red, white, and blue.
It's red,
Oh
white, and
my, I
blue.
never put that together. It just looked good.
I think
I made fun of you for a while.
That's
because
okay.
You made America.
It's okay. It was either going to be blackberry or blueberry, and I like blueberries. But yeah, I still like that the maroon still goes with everyone's fruit choice color. Like pink and the red look so cute. All the red and red look cute.
Yeah. So for a while, I was actually thinking of going
Orange and red
extreme.
look so cute.
So when I hear the word uniform,
Mm.
I mean uniform.
And that's
Like
what I love.
everything is the same. Everything is uniform. Like that's what I think of when I see uniform.
I'm swooning.
So
That's
for
all.
a minute, I was like, don't even like let people have accent colors. Like everyone needs to look exactly the same. But I mean that's just no fun. So we didn't do that. But regardless,
and I like the natural hair thing.
yeah. So like everyone's colors, like the
It's
gold
all
with
so
the uniform.
cohesive.
Oh, that is a big thing. We have one major rule that we kind of like nitpick on, which is natural hair colors. So
But it goes with the uniform.
it does. So, but even when we've had some girls, like if it's not an event, you can have a natural hair color, and like our girls that do it, like they still look good. Like I think tomato would be a good example.
Yeah,
Damn.
the pink hair.
Tomato look cute.
So so the design of Sumu is very nice, very clean. I like the maroon a lot. I like that the maroon matches everyone's skin tone. It actually matches everyone's bright colored fruits. Even the people who have multiple color fruits, like the watermelon, she has pink and green, but the maroon and white still looks so nice.
I love it.
It all works out.
Okay, but I mean, I think there are flaws in our uniform as well. I think there's always room for improvement.
Always.
And there are definitely things that I want to improve on our uniform, even including our color palette and everything. But I think that's
Yeah, I think that goes on to the second or the next topic, right, Marcy?
what is it?
Oh, yeah. So my next question that leading into it is so I know that the Sumuji uniform is a little tough. So can you tell us more about its construction?
Okay, so basically our bodice is a commercial pattern. However, we altered the heck out of it to the point where basically its core is a commercial pattern, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So, and even then, the commercial pattern, we always have to warn people. We're like, if you're an adult size small, buy the kids like large or medium.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to fit it and work with it. It's just kind of to get you a rough base on what you're actually making. The skirt itself is completely hand drafted. We tell people to measure your waist. Then here's like the formula to get like your total yield on the skirt.
Like a circle skirt, but
yeah,
there's three.
and
panels.
then there's what?
3 panels of the circle skirt. There's the long front one, and then the 2 back.
Yes, I believe that is it to get the maximum yield out of the fabric that we cut. And then, yeah, there's just a lot of little things. And we're actually in the middle of updating our uniform. And I think one of the primary reasons we haven't is because I got a new job and it's real rough, but also the thing I mentioned earlier where I need people to be standing
And
there
it's COVID,
in front
and
of
we
me.
couldn't all meet, and it was
Yeah, making our uniforms. We had parties where there's like just 13 people running around my house, and like 3 or 4 of us are sitting there sewing, and that's kind of it. And we haven't been able to do that, but
But the design's there, and it's ready to go once we're all
Yeah.
ready to be together again and actually work together to do it.
And
Because
also getting people's uniforms more fitted, because there were actually a lot of people that were like, I don't want the heads to work too hard on like cutting and sewing our uniforms, so we're gonna do it ourselves. And they did amazing, but like, it's been
there can
how
always
many
be
years? 3 or 4? No, people have just changed over the years. Like some people have just changed. I changed. I don't fit my uniform the way I used to.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Also,
So there's
your
fluctuations.
uniforms, stretched out. So I would actually say that's another thing about laundering your uniform appropriately. If you don't launder it appropriately, you're gonna lose the elasticity on your uniform, and then it's not gonna fit you the same, and you're gonna be really sad about it.
Yeah, honestly,
It's experience. It's not like my uniform's like way too big for me, even though I've gained weight. No big deal.
yeah, honestly, I'm thinking about remaking mine like from scratch because I
too.
I just
Yeah,
like learned so much since like 4 years ago when we first made them. I'm like, I can do better than this.
A lot of our maids seem really excited about just remaking them from scratch, and I'm like, heck yeah! If you're gonna remake them from scratch, like let's do it. Let's do everything from scratch.
That's how, yeah. For me, for example, I lost some weights from starting, and then so when I resized it to fit me, quarantine happened, and I lost more weight, and so now my uniform just does not fit me at all, and I can't take it in anymore without just completely having to redo it.
That's
So,
absolutely true.
That's probably why I'm not in any kind of streams either. My uniform just does not fit me.
I busted the zipper on mine.
No!
Fun fact.
No. Oh my gosh, does that mean like what on the streams you have a busted uniform?
I wore that busted zipper to like 4 or 5 events.
That's hilarious.
So,
yeah, let's just
uniforms
remake
are
them.
Yeah. Well, uniforms are fun, but part of what makes it fun though is that like we don't just buy them from a website. We do make them ourselves, and I would say on average each uniform from start to finish, like from absolute bare minimum start, making the pattern and everything to finish is probably about a 16 to 20 hour process depending on the person.
Yeah, it took me like 2-3 weeks, I think,
Yeah.
when I made mine.
Like on and off, yeah.
Yeah, just working on it like after work or
Yeah.
like just whenever I had the time to do it. I think mine took me like 2 weeks.
And then I think
Yeah.
when I do them, it takes me a lot longer because I am trying to create like an instruction booklet on how to do it properly. And the first instruction booklet, I look at it and I'm like, wow.
The Google Docs.
What was that? Yeah, the Google Docs.
I kept messaging you guys. I felt so annoying.
No, but what's fun actually is I love being self-critical. So my job now is actually to make like
that's right.
instruction pamphlets for manufacturers to make soft goods. So I want to utilize my new skills to like recreate this, but I want it to be so good. And that's kind of part of the reason why I don't have new uniforms yet, because I'm very nitpicky about my own instruction pamphlet.
We'll get there.
It'll get there.
I will say though, my least favorite part about making the uniform was
sleeves.
putting no, not the sleeves, putting the 2 stripes on the skirt because
really?
I hate that part. I get so nervous top stitching it on.
The stupid hole.
Oh my god!
The just kept getting me. The hole on mine right now. I hate it.
I think the hole deserves to be a topic as a Western cafe.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. Let's get in this hole.
We have a neckline hole, which is apparently a little controversial, because in Japan you don't do that. But in reality, At Home does actually have a neck hole. Theirs is just a little higher than ours and different shaped.
It looks like theirs is disguised as like a sweetheart neckline.
Yeah, but it actually, on a lot of girls, it does go pretty low.
And then they wear the conservative little tank top underneath.
They wear the conservative tank tops and everything.
Yeah, or they can put a little collar underneath it to cover it up.
Yeah, or their bow covers it usually.
And I actually really like their conservative necklines, and I think in the future I want Sumuji to like kind of move towards that.
Not so many boobies.
I mean, it's not necessarily that. It's that we have a lot of maids. We have maids that adjust the size of the neck hole, which I'm totally okay with. So I think we just need to shrink it for everybody. Everyone needs to have kind of like a uniform 2-scale neck hole. And then if you want to cover it, add that little lacy frilly cover, because I think that just looks so good.
Yeah,
I saw it at home and I loved it. I thought it was very cute. And I really am a fan. I like it.
Yeah, the little, because I remember the first uniform I did make was a full-on sweetheart neckline, and it was problematic.
It was problematic.
If you didn't take it right, it would like
it's
open,
low.
and it was a little too low. And if you weren't in doubt, it would just kind of flop because no one knew how to sew back then, and it was just not nice looking.
And I would say, as far as our uniforms go, we've had a better
fail
better
rate. Yeah, it's better now.
Like the fail rate is much
with
improved
a smaller
with
hole
that.
because
If you're a girl, you probably know exactly what we're talking about.
You know, yeah, if you know, you know. But like even like the old ones that we used to do, the hearts, even those.
That's right. The heart, I had such a problem. It was too low, and I could never fully have just a heart. There was always like other pieces of clothing involved in the heart. So I think with our cut, we've only had like 1 or 2 maids really have problems with it, and it was because honestly, part of it was one of them wasn't even wearing their uniform. They were wearing someone else's uniform, so of course they're gonna have problems with it. So, but point is, moving forward, I think I want everyone to have like a uniform,
smaller hole.
Yes, uniform, smaller hole, so that people that want to have it open can, and people that want to cover it can. But I don't so much like that we have some maids with these big necklines, and then some maids with these little like
tinier ones,
peanut-sized necklines. It just looks a little different. So I'd rather have them have that lacy, cute accent in with it.
Oh,
I just think it looks amazing.
Everyone's the same size. If you don't like it, just wear
because if you're gonna have a neck bow covering the whole hole, why go through the effort?
Yeah, you're right.
So I think it just needs to be brought in, and refined. The whole point is uniform refinement, because I don't think our first rendition was perfect. And in fact, our first rendition was far from perfect. So the fact that our existing uniform is as good as it is, I'm proud.
It's good, yeah.
But improvements are coming, long story short. But I want to get everyone more uniform.
My next question is, what other maid uniform designs do you like?
At home.
Long.
Yes, Victorian maids. At home. Those are my favorites too. At home? Yes, girl.
I think between you and I think we both like very opposite sides. Like if we were to go ham on like our preferred uniform style.
I don't like the in-betweens.
I don't either.
I like at home, super cute, super short, super puffy. Or I like
long.
But if it's long, it's gotta have a good bustle.
Style.
Good bustles.
Good apron. Ornate.
And the ones, I like the ones. Like
yes.
Black. Think Tanto Kuore, ankle length, black.
Pure Maid Cafe.
Classic, long white ruffles.
Think of a maid playing the violin as you eat your teen snacks.
Have it.
That is my preferred maid. Is so good. Chef's kiss. I love it.
I like the short, cute one that's gonna go.
No, touch my food. Go back to your harp, maid.
I think Kobayashi Dragon Maid. How a lot of them, the main girl had like the long maid dress.
I love the longer.
There's actually there's that one dragon girl VTuber. What's her name?
Oh, you showed me her last time.
I love her. I did show you her.
Yeah, you did.
Dang, I showed you her and I don't even know her name, but there's this one dragon girl VTuber, and I would love to see her in a maid dress. Just saying.
Are you talking about Coco Kiryu?
Probably.
I think that's I think that's the
one. Is it? I don't know. She has orange hair.
I love her. Yes, I love her. She's
she
cute.
Dances?
Yeah, I love her. She's so funny.
I want to see her in a maid uniform because wow. She would look great in a very long maid dress with her tail sticking out.
Oh,
her tail could
so
be her
cute.
muscle.
Okay. I'm very I think I'm a purist. I'm a purist. I like Cure Maid Cafe. It was the first cafe.
Yes, Cure.
And that is my preference.
I just like at home. I think they're cute.
I think they're cute too, which is like I think they're cute too. I'm sorry, she just took a bite of her cup that she was drinking, and then now she's biting something out.
It's a cucumber. I was having cucumber water.
Oh,
do you want a cucumber?
Yes.
Okay.
But I do like the frillier, more like idol style maids.
Okay. No, I'm gonna be real. I do want to make a long floor length Sumuji dress.
Me too.
Like. Take the stripes out, do like 6-inch ruffles on the bottom,
long sleeves,
floor length. Let's do it.
Let's do
and
it.
Then die in our Arizona heat.
Yep, but no, because we're wearing cotton, which is breathable.
Supposedly.
So we'll be fine. Yeah. Supposedly. We'll be fine. Our maids will be sweaty, but we'll be fine.
I know, right?
Oh, you know what would be kind of a fun video that we could probably do one day? Like we just look at like AliExpress like maid uniforms and we just like be like, oh, dude, god, this is bad. Oh, this one's kind of cute.
Was made. It was months. Literally, like from the point I was like, maybe I should do a maid cafe because I miss being a maid. Was just me Googling maid uniform and like scrolling for infinity, making it to Google page 25 on images. Like,
Oh my god.
that was how we did it. And honestly, like I started to like genuinely pull notes. I was like, I like this uniform, this uniform, this uniform, this uniform.
style, yeah. And
then you compile them all together.
Yep.
And you're like, what are the key aspects that are the same in these uniforms? So like that freaking like A-line is so important to me. I'm like, I want puffy A-line magicalness, like no cupcakes, I want A-lines and like ruffles and yeah, long story short.
yeah. Yeah, I do like it, and it is fun. Like because I do still like to dance, and I do like the performing part of the maid cafe. So
I love twirling in the uniform
Oh,
too.
man. I feel like no one talks about it, no one ever says it, but our sleeves are huge. We acknowledge our sleeves are huge.
the size of our heads.
And part of it is because we wanted to be able to be sure that every single person could put their arms above their heads and maneuver in our uniform.
Yeah, that is nice about this uniform that we wear now, is that they're very comfortable and open, and you're not just like stuck rigid.
Yeah. You need to be able to move in your uniform. I think all the cafes I was ever in, I couldn't move my arms. So this one, I was like, we're moving our arms.
We're moving our arms.
You underestimate arm movement.
I don't know if anyone else does, but here in Arizona, we have some problems with moving our arms, apparently.
They need to be moved.
Yes. So what's next?
Oh, so this is the last segment since we're getting near the end. So, any quick advice, real fast, on how to design and style a uniform?
Oh, Lord. Honestly, if you're working with a group, consider what looks good on everybody, not just on you, because what looks good on your head maid or your head designer or whatever isn't necessarily going to work for the whole group. So I would say it's really important to just consider what looks good on everybody, like the good old classic, everyone looks good in black, you know?
Yeah,
So-
even then, just start with black. Just make a very standard. If you're even just learning how to sew in general, just start with just start with cheap fabric if you're just learning how to pattern out a maid uniform. Don't
Yeah.
go
Mhm.
crazy. And invest in your materials.
Yeah, and I would say, honestly, doing sewing like this, it's like any skill. Like if you go too big too fast, if you get overzealous with it, like it's not always gonna turn out for the best. I think that we ourselves have
Give
made
yourself-
this strong
Yeah,
mistake
give yourself
of
some
being
time to
too
grow.
overzealous.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Give yourself some time to improve and grow. Start simple and then move on. Just like anything.
Yeah, but also invest yourself. It's like any skill. Like if you
Mm.
just
Toss yourself
wing
into it.
Yeah, if you just wing it and you don't really put that much effort into it, you're like, oh gosh, I hate doing this. I don't want to do this. It's probably not going to turn out that great just because you genuinely don't like doing it. So also, if you want to do a makeup and you don't like designing stuff,
Just buy them.
hire people.
Yeah, or
I mean,
hire 'em.
we totally had people being like, if you want to ever do your maid uniforms, like please contact me. I'd like to design some. And every time I've been like, design your own. Like, we're really happy. Thank you. I appreciate your offer, but like, design your own. Do it. Put more maid uniforms in the world, you know?
Yeah, do something that's not heard of. Like there's lots of maid cafes that are like very niche and themed, very specifically, like that robot one.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I almost feel like in our state specifically, we kind of like started like a themed thing going on.
In our state, yeah, every
cafe prior to us was just like maid cafe, and we're like
Generic
hey,
maid
so
cafe,
we're a
yeah.
fruit cafe.
Yeah, the
And
smoothie
suddenly
fruits.
everyone's like, "Yo, we got this themed cafe," and we're like, dude, we did a thing.
We did a thing. We started a trend. But it's nice though. I really like the theme that we have. And so even if you're like maybe struggling to find like a design that you like, pick a theme and then just see if your mind comes up with something like
Dude, like
smoothie.
Yeah, like cyberpunk cat cafe. Don't just be the cat cafe, be the cyberpunk cat cafe.
make it personal. And I think that's what's cool is that smoothie came up and then
Plants. Can you imagine like a plant cafe?
stop.
The succulent maid and the cat claw maid.
I want to be a barrel cactus maid.
I want to be the palm tree maid. So point is, themes very good.
Theme-
Farm
yeah,
animal
You see,
cafe.
it's happening
Cow
right now.
maid,
Think of it,
pig
you'll
maid,
just vomit
horse
ideas.
The farmer made themselves. They can wear plaid and jeans.
Denim maids.
Oh my
Like the
god,
denim
denim
Lolita.
maids.
Denim maids with overall.
Oh my
Stop!
Every
I
time
already
you-
know what I'm going to be working on.
Wait. Ice cafe. Everyone dresses in snow jackets.
With fur trims?
fur trim maid dresses.
Like brown with white fur trims?
Dude, any color. Navy with fur trim. Oh, and pink bows.
With silver buttons.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, just to
Pick something up.
Yeah,
Cake,
design, it'll
cake,
literally just
everyone can
start
be a different
exploding.
cake. Like,
You will vomit ideas.
yes, cookies, chocolate chip cookie,
Girl Scout cookie idea.
macadamia nut cookie made. Oh man, that'd be cute.
Thin mint made.
Oh, I'm just gonna call this podcast like we give you ideas for maid cafe.
Pay us. Give us money.
How about the RGB computer maid cafe?
Oh my god, gamer maids.
Oh my
Gamer
god.
maids. I love it. Everyone has to wear Razer Kraken Kitty headphones.
Oh, that'd be so cool though.
There was an old maid cafe I really liked too. It was called Usagi no Mori.
Were they all buddies?
Yes. And
Oh.
there was a big giant tree in the middle of their cafe.
Oh wow.
Oh, that
Wow.
sounds really cute. I want to
That's
find
like
it now.
A bunny maid cafe? Like you hear bunny cafes and everyone's in bunny suits, but bunny maids
Strictly.
everywhere. Only bunny maids, no cat
They have these
maids, no
floppy
dog
ears.
maids.
They're
Oh,
so cute.
I'm about the upright ears, but it's okay. It's okay.
Floppy, they're
Bunny
so
maid cafe. Someone do it.
With like the nice maid ears or the nice bunny ears too. That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Cafe would be very comfortable.
All
I
the
like
bears.
that.
I want to be panda bear.
Baron.
Okay. Anyways, we're getting carried away here.
That's so much
But-
for the burger maids.
Fast
Oh
food
my
maids.
god.
Hot maids.
Maids. Wait, no, maids on rollerblades?
Parlor drinks.
Retro.
Like soda
Those
parlor.
are called waitresses.
Shh. Medieval maids.
That's the ones I like.
Medieval maids. Beer maids.
Oh my god. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for coming here today.
Alien maids.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk regarding maid uniforms. These two, they'll talk all night about maid uniforms.
Alien maids?
Italian. Bread
Pasta.
maids.
Pasta.
Bread. Bread maids.
Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us on this fun episode. We shall see you again
Dog cafe. You see
very soon. I can't wait to talk with y'all again,
owl.
and may we meet very soon in person again.
I already
So-
said that.
Oh, okay.
All right, goodbye everyone.
Coconut milk.
Milk maids. Milk maids. Different milks. Soy milk maid. Almond milk maid. Cashew milk maid.
Parrot. Parrot maids.
Bird maids.
Bird maids. Someone could be the pigeon maid. I want to be the dove.
I'll be a flamingo.
Oh, I want to be the flamingo. I want to be a flamingo too.